or waiting at their own contribution as well for the development of this country. We don't get a short break, we get time issues, we get housemates ready to go on. But we're back, starting new episodes of this show, and I welcome all reviewers from across the country and across the world, especially people on our Facebook. We always watch most times I can say that then they produce the program. And can tell you that for talk to, waiting for us, waiting up for us. We appreciate that. And as always, we can get the right people. I can request for, say, when I want to talk to them, I get their opinion and waiting and think about things the way they happen. My name is Amadou Lamganaba, and as always, I get the pleasure for welcome my studio guest today. We're Andrew Keili, and Andrew Keili is an household name, and somebody we a lot of people know. Almost every other week you get for read waiting they write about social issues, governance, politics in the country. So today we bring on a TV for can talk about some of the things the way they write and some of the things themselves we write about. Andrew Keili, welcome to the hot seat. It is a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Lamnara. It's nice to be here. You're
very much welcome. Sometimes I can find it difficult how to introduce you. You are this consultant from the mining sector, mining engineer, a professional as well. You are into politics. You deserve almost all the newspapers with Ponder My Thought article almost every week. But what is it that you're enjoying? Is it at the time when you are an engineer or in politics or writing about social issues?
Well, I always feel, somebody for serve society. Sometimes the sideway you want serve society, not bad to work. But I don't think you for close the door, because if you get small experience, small ideas, as long as it's genuine, and you feel, the ideas or experience could change within the happiness society, I think, you get an obligation for impartum. So basically, yes, I don't dabble into politics, but right now I'm a professional with a runway engineering company, and also I get a passion for right. And where the right about socio-political issues. A lot they happen in politics, way right, way not right. So a lot they happen in life, society in general. So I can reflect and write reviews and make sure I write them as honestly as possible, with the idea that when you do them, society go, at least the way they read, then go think about it and try for change society.
Is it that you're enjoying this writing so much and being an engineer that you thereabout forget politics? People are forgetting Andrew Keili as a politician now. The man who have been running mates to Dr. Kande Keili. It's more about people looking forward to what you write for the week. What are the issues? What should they ponder on for the week as you write about them?
Well, I'm still very interested in politics, in that politics basically in how we are governed. And I think, me not in a parliament, obviously the political season been done, election for now. But in the intermediary period, I mean, if you do your work, you go always reflect on political issues. So I go say me, in a way, I'm a political commentator as well. And I'm still active in terms of thinking about political issues.
But not too active in the running of the political party where you've been contest with, or, like how see other politicians, them go come and talk about national issues openly, declare their intention and all. Well, why is it that?
Me, not a full-time politician.
Okay.
Yes, I've been dabbling into politics. From where we start when Team Up for 2012 SLPP flag bearer, we were 19. Then we come again, we left, and we go join NGC. We team up the last election. Basically, we don't bring up a lot of people, and we associate with what we do. And I still hold the same political views we have been hold, but just that sometimes you need to give newer people and the chance for them to come up. You support them. are still very supportive of what people they do. But me not they into frontline politics.
Well, you're still, is it that you're reversing? Because somebody go say somebody we don't contest, we want to be flag bearer. We want to be lead one of the two major political parties and for be president of the country. You don't be a running mate.
Yeah.
One would say you're a politician. You in this. Is it that you're taking the back seats? You're planning to leave politics?
I don't call them back seat as such, but there is what you call, I mean, if the active politics where you're in full time, like the time I've been in politics, I've been here for step down from a walk. They pan the campaign, would they go up and down, for right manifesto go up and down. But right now, I'm a professional, but that no means I don't lost my passion for politics. Just that the frontline politics, you can still support the one the way they did and for carry on.
Are you still a member of the NGC?
Oh, yes,
I'm a very active member.
Yes, I am.
What's your ambition with the NGC?
Me personal ambition?
Personally, political ambition.
Oh, I don't get ambition for standards. Flag bearer or running mate, I don't get that ambition.
Not the NGC.
Not the NGC, but I still support the NGC. I'm still a member of the NGC.
So, again, I will ask this question: is it you live in politics, the frontline politics, and just at the back seats, not wanting to contest for any position again?
Well, it depends on what you call frontline politics. If the frontline politics now go contest for position, no, I'm not really interested in that. But frontline politics in terms of getting an impact on what happening in the country, or getting an impact on what happening within a particular political party, or getting an impact in terms of policies, the way they adopt. Yes, I'm very much for that.
Is there a reason why you're moving back? Why you think, say, for contest? I'm sure there are a lot of people who believe in you, who might have voted for the NGC because they believed Andrew Keili can be a better vice president to Dr. Keili if he become president. They're looking forward, perhaps. I read one article where they talk about Sierra Leone searching for its own Desmond Tutu. Maybe you are the politician, the presidential candidate.
But Desmond Tutu not to be politician.
No, I'm saying, my point is, maybe you are the politician. Maybe you are the politician that Sierra Leoneans are looking forward to, that they want. And now you're saying you not get any plan for contest.
No, but there are certain times, me believe in one thing, nobody not the way, nor replaceable. I don't believe in that kind of thing.
You're still
not a matter of strength. I mean, age is relative. I mean, I still strong, are healthy, are they of sound mind, I still get a lot of ideas, I still go contribute to this country. But if you don't take and say, pass you be president or vice president before you contribute towards politics, that is wrong. Because how many people will be presidential candidate or president or vice presidential candidate within a party where so many people defend, not just a few people. So basically, I get the idea, say, even if it is not me, I go support Huda Dede, and I go give me views, and I go be very supportive, and I go try for influence what happens. You can be an influencer.
Are you demotivated with politics, or say, no, I don't believe I can win an elected I can win an elected position. I just need for the back and support other people.
No, I'm not demotivated. I think for somebody who stand once as flag bearer aspirant, then the second time we'll go through that whole tussle about alliance, no alliance, we'll break up, go NGC. No, I'm not demotivated. I just believe, say, life, not to you one grain get for B. You don't necessarily achieve what you want, but that no means that you don't lose your ideals. I may not be a presidential candidate or president, but I can still influence a lot of things with young people in this country. I can still influence a lot of things when they happen on the policy level. And also, I can still influence a lot of things when they happen at the professional level. The thing is, I get a lot of interest. Apart from politics, in my job, I play a very active role by my church business.
Okay.
I'm a preacher. I'm a lay preacher in an Anglican church.
Okay.
I serve the Anglican church. I did on the development board where they look after them property. I joined several social clubs them at the right. So I believe, say, within all of them inside and there, you get spheres of influence where you can bring people along, when I all get gel and think about how this country will develop. One thing I not go give up is stop commenting on waiting they happen in Sierra Leone, whichever party they in power, and trying for influence change.
Dr. Kanda Yumkela, all word, where President Biobi meets with him, say all word.
Yeah.
If you are approached to serve in any capacity, even though you don't want contest for any elected position, but getting into government, serving in any capacity, you go all word or you go accept and serve?
Well, first of all, I get a lot of friends within the SLPP. I mean, you know, means because apart from people them, before make people the enemies, and there are still a lot of people them where meetings say get respect for me, and a lot of things them even when I've been there within SLPP. You remember when I serve on the electricity water regulatory commission. I serve on the National Policy Advisory Committee to President Kaba, with President Kurumaka, we even served there 1 year. So I just believe, say, if you get something where you can help the country with, in your own small way, I don't believe, say, for begin think too much in terms of a partisan way. So I not go close the door, say, if I'm asked to serve in any capacity, probably not a political capacity, but in any capacity we go help the country, and me feel say are competent for do that.
You're willing and ready?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
You know, the NGC and the party owner form, from the SLPP. Some of the members of the NGC, we see don't they go back to the SLPP.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kanda Yumkela is still old word, Is that something you given a thought? Also, you come off from Keili. We see JOB is now very active in governance. They serve as an advisor. Robin Fale don't return back. Will you want to return back to the SLPP that you wanted to lead some time ago?
Well, JOB never left the party.
Yeah, I'm saying he's
JOB
active.
was always in the party.
Yeah.
Me not get enemies within the SLPP. It's a party that I stood for as flag bearer. Now, philosophical differences make we part ways. I mean, person don't go too much into that. But I mean, in fact, a lot of the policies that we SLPP been introduced in the manifesto, we now basically they get another manifesto in 2018, but not too different from the previous one. We contributed towards that. So I'm not gonna say I may disagree with what they do sometimes. I may disagree with some of the personalities in there. I may not like the way some of them they behave. But I believe, say, if you get for profile any advice, we go make the country go before, you not get for look too much in terms of party.
Will you return if you are asked, like others have been asked and get back? Will you return to the SLPP?
The problem about...
You say you're still a member of the NGC, right?
Oh, yes, I'm still a member of the NGC. The NGC get to make a decision on what it does for the next election. There are various possibilities. I believe, say, I go be part of the group we go synthesize all the information and make a decision where not only good for the NGC but good for this country.
What could be that decision? Is it about joining an alliance or going back to the SLPP and supporting? Because we see the flag bearer, the person we run with, already they don't approach and for come back and he whole world. Is it they engage for return back? Well,
the thing is, if you're in a position where like Dr. Kanda Yumkela Day or we all did the NGC party day, you get various options. You can stay as you are, as an independent party. When we go into elections, you can go with one of the other major parties. Or you can get a coalition with one of the other parties. Obviously, in making that decision, and they watch at not only what you are offered, but the credibility of the person where they approach you and what he wants and what role you can play if you go in. You also look on the flip side at the question of, if I stay alone, just decide, say, they make my own decision on which direction I go, is it a viable option? So obviously we don't deliberate over anything and they, but for say we made the decision or they not make a decision, no. But may not get any objection in terms of helping whatever government comes to power for more get this country I go forward.
In your own opinion, between the APC and SLPP, you're a very senior NGC member.
Yeah.
If you are to decide, who do you think say the NGC for go?
The NGC for weigh in options very carefully because it's one thing for be approached, is another thing for make the possible approach you minam. Is another thing for make you know what role will you play in terms of helping with the governance. It depends on a lot of factors where you get for way. So me go say all them factors, then they put some of them on the table, and definitely I not believe say you one grain for make a decision. You might make a decision on your own, say no, I want left, I go join SLPP, I go join APC. But if you don't deal with people them, I think you can also help from a synthesize them thinking so that whatever decision we're going to make will be the best decision for this country.
Will you, as Andrew Keili, the engineer, the writer, the politician, not mind the report returning back to the SLPP, your party?
If you don't deal with party, SLPP, I get a lot of friends in there. I get lots of people where they share ideas with. And if I tell you, say, the time where I've been there by SLPP politics, I did not enjoy my time. I'm going to lie to you. I mean, I attended conventions there, strategic planning group, make a lot of decisions. So I don't have any problem with the party. I have problem with the way certain people then behave. For say their behavior will be the same ad infinitum, it will be permanent. No, all human beings, they change. Am I receptive to being talked to by any party? Of course I'm receptive. What decision will I make? It depends upon the information that comes to me. It depends on how I synthesize them and make a decision.
Should the public be surprised if you return back to the SLPP, or it shouldn't be a surprise at all?
Well, if ever I will make that, well, if you talk to me as an individual now, right?
Yeah, yes.
If I ever make any decision on that, I go rationalize them and I go explain the decision.
Okay.
But I don't think say the public will be surprised at any decision where an individual go make, because only God and fools don't change.
And people shouldn't be surprised if the NGC supports the SLPP in the next election.
People should not be surprised if the NGC supports any party.
Okay. Let me look at the things you've been writing about.
Yeah.
Generally, you know, what's your general assessment of how Sierra Leone is presently, less than a year to, the national elections, the political atmosphere? What's your assessment?
Well, I believe, say, the political atmosphere can be better. I believe, say, a poison at the moment. I believe, say, everything now seems to be looked at through a political lens. Do I blame the government entirely for that? No. The government getting your own fault. I believe, say, oppositions have getting your own fault. And I believe, say, also social media has not helped. They inflame the situation all the time. And one thing where I really not happy about in the country now, the fact that you don't ever know which news are true, which one are false, because there is so much trash put out there, and the government has really not done a very good job of explaining itself on certain issues. And when you explain yourself, when you explain issues to people, then you left everything to imagination. People can interpret them their way. So you can't expect a reasonable man when rationalize things to him. He can't just believe everything what they say if you've not made a good point of explaining it. And also sometimes the message is as good as the messenger. Some of the messenger the way the government they use for propagate information and not get too much confidence in them. And I don't so much as say that. And I believe, say, the government can do a better job of that.
And talking about, the messenger, yeah, I can recall an article where you write about, President Bill in reshuffle we been do. But with this recently, a week or so ago, we see Alhaji Alpha Khan, we still say he's a member of the APC, where they serve as resident minister, Northwest Region. He's now the spokesman for the president. Are you surprised at that decision, especially when you just mentioned about the messenger? Do you think he's a good messenger for the president, for explaining what the presidents they do and don't they do in the past 4 years?
Well, I really gave a comment on the recent changes, especially with Alpha Khan and I don't say actually was Sovula, but I'd like to mention that as well. I had to say this, Alpha Khan is a personal friend. He's a mining engineer. We study England at the same time. Around the same time, I use him. He's a very nice person, very smart, very intelligent. In politics, don't move here, and that's fine. No, there's no problem. But may say, if you are appointing a presidential spokesman, you not forgo appoint somebody who don't be presidential spokesman for the previous government where they say then commit egregious crimes. I mean, if the man they been they talk with passion about what the last president they do and waiting and write and talk against SFP, with all due respect, I know they say not give a position, but for go say na him you they go appoint for be spokesman for you, you want to talk say SSPP so bereft of credible, competent people. I mean, that's one thing I know about SFP. SFP has a lot of competent people.
They might be deserved at that position. Yusuf Keketso Masandi says this is a show of national cohesion. It doesn't mean where you're from, which tribe you be, or which party you be. The presidents, they draw other people in from other political parties, other tribes for come work with them.
With all due respect, that not a disingenuous statement, small bit. I mean, say not other positions than they are not there against them giving him another position like when I be resident minister. But for say he is the chief spokesman. For you as president, I think, first of all, two things. One, it shows that, as I mentioned, the message is as good as a messenger. I mean, is he the right messenger?
What do you think?
I don't think he's the right messenger. I mean, I like him. I think he's smart, but there are issues of credibility. But I've been on there with him, been on top before. He's not the right. And a presidential spokesman for really be the guy where they talk credibly now, like the president in alter ego.
So are you saying there is no credibility?
Well, it got difficult if he says something for make you take him saying a spin or they actually speak the truth. I'm not saying he's a dishonest person, but I'm just saying with the other position where we don't hold before. Then secondly, the message where they send out is that within the whole SLPP, we get capacity. So me, I know about SLPP capacity. SLPP is not short of capacity. Forget about we, the rebel, and we go or whatnot. SLPP is not short of capacity. So should the president be looking further afield within a own party? I think yes. I think there are lots of competent people, not only for that position, but even the way where they make the appointments them. In my own opinion, it should not just be based on who you don't sabi or who that be support you. Or I don't say they try for Richard now. He's making amends, and I'm glad for that. But that is one basic thing in that probably he's been just looking at who that they close to me, maybe they talk for me. If the message is not going well, let me look for somebody that has done it well before.
But it's about politics as well. Alpha Khan comes from the north, and there is that bridging the gap and the divide.
I have nothing against bridging the gap. I have nothing against assimilating him. As I said, he's my friend, and I think he's very smart.
But you think the president, the choice
I think good? As presidential spokesman, I would not have put him as presidential spokesman.
You passively mentioned, the Inspector General, the former Inspector General of Police, Ambrose Sovola. Are you surprised he's gone?
Well, I'm not surprised he's gone, but I'm surprised he was appointed in the first place.
Why? I mean, look, he's a very senior police officer.
We know we know the hierarchy in the police. He was not among the top 4 or 5 when they take. That does not mean you don't go promote people. Then secondly, I happen to have worked very closely with some seasoned policemen. When I was chairman of NASIT, I worked with Acha Kamara. He was representing the forces on the NASIT board. Every time I get important decision for make, I beg Acha make it kind of the meeting, because he was such a seasoned manager. These guys were did them in train, they went and did courses in management, in strategic planning, in other things, and the police had respect. You start to make appointments, slowly you whittle down the competence of the people the way they hold the position. So obviously, I mean, I don't get anything against Mr. Sovula. I don't even know him, but I mean, the fact that
it wasn't fit for that position.
It become a sort of parody now. I mean, in social media and some of the decisions he made. I believe that the president, and it goes down to the way appointments are made. I believe, say, yes, loyalty is a good thing, but I believe that sometimes you can also have people that are loyal but are competent for the position.
So, you know, I want to ask you about President Bio's appointment then.
Yeah.
You just mentioned that. You know the SLPP. You believe the SLPP gets a lot of competent people who go serve in different positions.
Yeah.
Do you think the last time Umaru interviewed him, he said he will appoint people he knows, people he's comfortable with, people he believes go able to push the agenda? What in generally you think about in appointments? People who are serving in different positions. How will you assess his cabinets?
Well, in one of the articles where I write recently, where I said President Bio should speak to the nation with a still small voice of calm, I quote some observation where Banja Tijansibi make. He was ex-secretary general of the party. And he was very critical about the way appointments have been made. That now people the way don't sabi, probably in the diaspora, we come, who had supported him, we've been there close to him. Yeah, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it becomes the rule, I mean, when most of the appointments are seemingly based on that, and when you put people in positions who probably are not the most fitted, I mean, tell me say, know more people within the party. President Bio don't know a lot of people within the party. He knows everybody.
Is it about trust as well? Is it about having the right people? The people where you believe say...
You are not going to have 100% people where you trust. If you the best leadership just on trust, it's not going to happen. People have their job descriptions. They perform well or they don't perform well. When President Kaba won, he brought all his opponents into cabinet. Samabanya, Saliagbao, Harry Will, the man and they team up against him. Harry Will and Samabanya, they all team up against him. He made them ministers, right? But then it bring about party unity. Then when it went along, the one that way not performed, they fell by the wayside. He appointed other people. He started reaching out. But at least he make that point, they say, let me look further within the party. Loyalty, trust, they are good ingredients, the good attributes of a good leader. May you look at loyal people. But you can also, if the person in job described, you take somebody as a minister, you take him as some top MDA, you can tell by performance whether they carry out your mandate. He may not have liked you, but if they do the job, and so what? Then, I mean, there are certain things, sometimes the man not get confidence in you because he was supporting somebody else, and they get right for support somebody else. But when he come, he see the way he behave as a leader, he don't like you. People can change their minds about you.
So is it that you think President Bio has not been getting his appointments right in the past 4 years?
I think he has made some good appointments, and I think, say, in a lot of things, he means well. But I think that, and I've always said this, but the buck stops with the leader. There are people around him who are gatekeepers. And these gatekeepers, they've been looking at a loyalty test. This man not been there with we. This man, who side them in there, who side them come out. And that is even within the party. And I can tell you something one of the time. One of the things that we're happy about recently, that the appointment of JOB as advisor. I think it's a good thing. I mean, me and JOB, Keili brother will not always agree, but I know say, somebody who don't get a lot of experience and he sacrificed a lot for that party, and he's not a yes man. The thing we're glad about, Ingo glad if I go tell President Biose, this is not going right. I think so we'll do. Rather than you get some other people them as advisor, then they tell you what you want.
And you think those are the people, the president, the people who go tell and things.
I think so. I think so. Not everything is going right, and I think that if President Biose appoints you, you get an obligation to tell him the truth.
What's your relationship with President Biose?
Good. Yeah. President Biose get a lot of respect for him. All the problems with me being a personality within SLPP has never been personally with President Biose. He's a very respectful person. Something happened between me and Abo one time where he phoned me and apologized for something where happened, where I said, oh, this man, not to waiting, I've been thinking say he be. And when we work within SLPP, we were all on the strategic planning group. When I was chairman of the manifesto committee, any decision we make, I deliberate over him because he had to sell the ideas. We talk, and I believe he is a listening person. I not believe waiting and go talk say he don't listen, because even when we've been there, when they are in the strategic planning group, when I bring an issue come, if I'm not happy with him, I go tell him, and I could see he was listening. So could it be that you have people within who feel say, therefore always tell them waiting in 1 year.
But the box stop with him, like you wrote the other day. He should take responsibility, he appoints people. The president should understand. Do you think he's in charge? He's in control, even with having those people where you think say...
He's obviously in control because he get the right for hire and fire. If we ever get rid of anybody, nobody know they were in position safe now.
Does it that he's not aware of what is happening? Some of the things you are highlighting.
Well, being a leader is not easy. It's difficult. You get a lot of information, they come to you. One of the things that were mentioned, I've been in a one forum where they discuss the various management steps that we presidents they take. President Kabah had a very good system. I was on his National Policy Advisory Committee. All cabinet papers, they go through we. With the reviewer, we give reviews, and he accepted 85% of MPS's views. And the good thing about that is an alternative voice. If he left something, he go cabinet. One minister go with something. In company, they come up here now.
The supporter.
Yeah, because when you say you can come up here, you know, I mean, you have to have alternative viewpoints within that same system. And I think President Biose for make sure say
President Biose gets advisors. He gets Mami Kona, he gets Ambassador Bondwuri. He gets GOB now with him. I'm sure he's got, people already advise him. Do you believe they're playing their part? They're playing their own role? Because these are the people, I'm sure, who speak to him, to the president, and what's happening in the country.
I don't mean ad hoc advice and go give a more panel, listen to that person, do this and that. It will be structured advice. Where you been get like NPSC, National Policy Advisory Council. Now, advice actually based on reviewing cabinet papers. Now, advice based on actually coming up with new policy issues and looking at something like unemployment in Sierra Leone, synthesizing that issue, talking to so many people and come up with advice to the president, say this is what you do. I believe say that independent advice and giving you bad news, I don't think he has it.
If you had to speak with the president, I don't know where last one I speak, what will you say to him? What will you tell him?
I always tell and say, we are in SLPP together. We had our differences, but we need a president. We're always ready for, in whatever little way, for serve you, for provide advice on any issue where you feel say they within with competence. I've always told him that. But for say I get opportunity, like I see something wrong, for go sit down with him and discuss.
No, I mean if you're to talk to him now, with the, you know, say one pick on your idea on things. What do you think? What the immediate thing you think President Bio should do to address some of these things you've highlighted?
Well, not only with me, but I just believe, say, he should open up and listen to alternative advice.
Is it other people are not having access to him? You think other people voice their voices?
Well, me not say me get problem for get access, for example.
Okay, to the president?
Yes, because they are gatekeepers.
They stop you?
Yeah. Well, not stop me physically, but if you are for see president, you don't have that leeway easily to say, oh, fixed appointment, I want to talk to this man on an issue. There are several issues. Otherwise, he's a good man. We were very friendly within SLPP. I have nothing against him. And he's always told me that me not be one of the people away they get along with who be on strategic planning group. So I would have welcomed that opportunity once in a while, say, oh, just have a chat about what is happening within the country. And not that I'm right, within we own limited capability, tell him, for example, about a few things where I believe, say, in my own opinion, should be looked at.
And one will wonder, perhaps he should be reading your articles. He should be reading Ponder My Thought, because in as much as you write on the issue, sometimes you provide recommendations and explain how things should be done.
Well, the idea about Ponder My Thoughts, I wouldn't change what they do. Some people they don't say, oh, blast government, or press government, or do that. I wouldn't do that. I will write what is the truth. And I not go write them from an impractical point of view. I go write them for, say, at the end of it all, I want to prefer advice. And even that advice, it might be, say, me not right. But it might just be advice for, say, ponder it, think about it, think through, and see whether what to me they suggest makes sense or probably not make sense.
Like this one where you be right, you know, on hardship. You say, hardship, government should not be ashamed of its batting bucket. There is a Mende saying, Numube, Wufe Boom, Bumwa Vajima.
That's a good statement.
You go mention that, but okay. It literally means one should not be ashamed of his or her bathing bucket. This is so true. After all, your bathing bucket sees your nakedness all the time. So why should you be shy in its presence? How well we will come back to this. But do you write these things having in mind that the president might read this, or someone might read them and speak to the president? Because you were talking about the president's honing up about the economic situation, the hardship in the country, and see ways how they could be addressed.
Yes, I believe that sometimes you gain by being honest. It's okay. Everybody knows that there is a global situation that's affecting our economy. Not only us, all African states, in fact. Everybody knows that the parlor state of our economy. But when they always write, like, say, everything glory, oh, we don't do this, we don't talk and do that, all the positive aspects. But once in a while, it's nice for level with people and tell them what's not the truth. However, when they tell them what's not the truth, men and say you get empathy for them by your own actions, either in terms of what you do, your spending and other things, or your actions in terms of taking steps for, say, we'll get for be self-sufficient a little bit in this area, in that area, and so on. Then people will understand. That make have been saying, you should not be ashamed. Bucketry they ask me, for shame panam.
What's your assessment of President Bio? With less than a year to the 2023 elections. In one of his statements, they may say he don't do over 90% of his manifesto. He don't able to achieve. And he just mentioned the talk and do mantra where they go around and all. Do you think he's done more and it will be easy for him in 2023?
Well, it will be difficult for me. All of that percentage business, I don't believe in them. That is a lot of political talk. And a lot of things that we can reach in a manifesto can be idealistic as well. It's difficult when you don't get into governance. You see, say, you don't have the resources to do that, the manpower there again. A lot of people in the way they scuttle the system. So I can see a case whereby any government will come, not only President Bio, you go surprised at what you see. Yes, obviously he's done well in certain areas. I mean, education, other areas as well, he don't do well. I mean, you can't begrudge him that. But there are areas where things are not really going too well. And I believe, say, it's never too late. You can change them things and the personnel way they in charge of the and the policies. You can always tinker with them.
You know, so far the two main contenders that we don't see for the 2023 elections, we see Dr. Samora Kamara, we now one of the aspirants and don't show interest of leading the APC, and President Bio is already endorsed as the flag bearer of the SLPP. What do you think, say, 2023 elections can be about? With possibly if we get then two candidates here for one for the presidency, with other candidates as well.
Well, the APC not doing
convention.
They're not doing convention, and there are other people vying. But I know Dr. Samora personally also. He's a credible person. He's a good person. I believe, say, part of the problem also with leadership, they also look at the leader in attributes, but then they look at the circumstances surrounding that leader, the party where they in, whether they go straddle them, whether they go allow them for do what you want to do, the amount of people that they wait for may give them jobs, not necessarily based on competence, but because of what they do for a party. So a leader, you get a lot of hard decisions to make, and you have to really, really be strong when you come to power. So to me, I think the voters go make their decision.
Do you think the elections next year will be about critical issues, or you will just recently Dr. Samora Kamara was making a statement to say a lot of people come against him and condemn the statement of SLPP only employing people of their own tribe, and when come go do that and all that. Do you think it will be about the usual tribal rhetorics and division, or it will be based on issues? People will want to hear those campaign messages.
Well, for we don't dabble into politics, we don't fight for them positions. We know that, yes, the issues then count, they go listen to the issues, but by and large, if you're surprised if I know, say, a lot of people in certain areas, they're fixity. You go put green Naya, na go win. You go put red Naya, na in the win. And a lot of people, even when you sell you message of hope, message of policies the way you go adopt, message about what you go do for young people, you can see they bite. But when it gets to elections, they still go and vote for their traditional parties. I mean, why was NGC surprised that we relatively pursuing less than the expectation we feel. When you thought that you campaign and you message go to people. So the issues, yes, they are important, but this politics of tribe, politics of region, politics of party, it is still there.
And
although the younger people are changing somehow, and also urbanization, they change and somehow, but not as drastic as you want.
If Dr. Samora Kamara is the running mate, is the flag bearer for the APC, and President B already is the flag bearer of the SLPP, if Ponda my thought is to do a poll, what percentage of winning? How will you think will win the next election?
I'm not doing the business of. Okay, first of all, the election. You mean the presidential or parliamentary?
Yes, the presidential election.
Presidential election, of course, President Bio will be judged by his record, which is all for us to see. Samora Kamara got a past record, but it will be judged mainly by what he say. And I believe, say, the country polarized, and the views of the electorate then difficult for judge, and there is still enough time for because President Bio still has another year in power. The party can still do a lot of things positive, we go influence people them. At the same time, he can do a lot of things where he can mess them up. So I not go let for be a soothsayer.
Okay.
I go say, may the best man win.
Will it be a 10th election, you think?
Yeah, I believe so, judging from waiting we don't see the happen these past few months, the by-election, the other rhetoric in the parliament, other things, judging by the passion of people and judging by even the uncertainties in the voting process, appear, they do boundary delimitation, they know they do them, they go use the old census, they go use the new census, different things we're bound for great schisms. It's not going to be easy, but more could just hope say the parties will talk to the young people for make them not bring anything we go mess up the country.
Yeah, I know you know Dr. Kanda Yumkela better than I and some other people possibly.
Yeah.
You know, there is this talk about him. He says he's still old word. Coming back to the SLPP, would you want to see him contest for the flag bearer position with the NGC or perhaps another capacity in the next election? Well, that is a decision for him to make. I'm just asking your own opinion.
In terms of within the NGC, I think people still owe him with reverence. They like him. He's done well in parliament. He could be a good leader of this country. But the NGC, as I mentioned to you at the start of the program, therefore weighing options and think about, do we go it alone? If we go in alone, do we stand a chance as a third party? Probably most people then go say, oh, third party no go just can't win, so it will take a long time. Or do I pitch my tent with any of these two? And as I say, that is a process that has to be rationalized. And I would like for things say if Dr. Yumkela is part of a group, obviously he would like to, whatever he decides, take along people with that decision. So now the process of rationalizing
should the NGC members or the public not be surprised if Dr. Yumkela serve in any capacity as running mates to any of perhaps the major contenders for the election?
Well, it depends on what the parties themselves want. If a party considers, say, the way to get Dr. Yumkela and his team in, now by offering him some things substantial before the election, that may be an option. If at the other time he say, well, we've already
is that an option you're thinking about presently as NGC?
No. I just talking in a hypothetical way now. Is
that one of the things, they think, say, if we join an alliance with any party, this should be the offer we want, our request for?
No, okay. The major thing is, if you join an alliance with any party, it will be, say, the views and aspirations of the NGC as an entity, they will be carried through by that party because and
that could be if Unayo leader go in and serve in an elected position or serve in a very senior capacity, so I go able to influence some of them decision.
Well, that's one option, but it can be said the option is also just go in with no preconditions.
Okay. But the option of having your presidential candidate as a running mate in any of the party not in at the table presently?
Me not going to know that. It's left with the NGC for decide.
Okay.
And other people then go make that decision.
Quickly, as we try for round up, there's this debate about the PR system and the first past the post. A lot of opinions about it. What's your opinion as the debates they continue?
I think it's a very healthy debate. I don't listen to several people, very, very smart people. Ibrahim Tomei, Julius Spencer, different people, Marcella, and they're all, and Rulavali. I don't listen to all, and they're all right about what they're saying. I mean, we're country too divided. There are merits and the demerits of each system. But what me can always say, at this stage, I got more problem with the internal party mechanisms of the parties than whatever electoral system. Because I don't know within SLPP, for example, where then they choose candidates where most parties then choose candidates, well, then the people at the bottom then compromise the way they vote. Maybe the chairman, they say where they go around their election and then they don't give them money and sometimes then discriminating against women. I don't see enlightened people. They say, oh, this is the front line of politics. We not go put women there. You know, so the parties, they not get good mechanism. If they may get good mechanism, we should not be losing about 75% of the MPs at each election. And I always give some good example. There was Brian McCamanda, for example. He was a good MP, but they still kicked him out. I mean, by any yardstick, if the party, they appraise them people in terms of performance in Parliament, the West African Parliament, highly qualified with a PhD, talk well for the party, but they still put him out.
And of recent times we had honorable Paranta who didn't return.
Yeah, so people they know the way then the judge and the MPs and whatnot, the internal party mechanism is wrong.
Okay.
So whether you get PR system or first past the post, if you're first of all choosing the wrong people, if you have no yardstick for judging people, if you are discriminating against women, it's still going to be the same.
Okay, and we don't get a new elections bill, even though there is this talk about, there is still women's empowerment into it, but the 30% safe seats where the women they ask for, we don't get them. And the dual citizenship, we, on NGC as a party, been on the push for as well, they're not even debate them. Is that not something that is not, I know you support women's empowerment a lot. Is that not something that is not progressive that we've got? As
well, I guess something against parliamentarians. I can always say turkeys don't vote for Christmas. I mean, like one of the things about that resignation, 6 months resignation and whatnot. Because you say they're going to vote against them because they know how many people are going to challenge them. I mean, so now a lot of personal, in my own opinion, there are some good MPs, but a lot of personal considerations came into their decision making. Because remove the thing about the gender issues, stop people then from overseas from voting. Well, we all been on to talk about this issue. I think it's just personal considerations.
Okay. Engineer, I want to end on this note. I read this at this point of my thoughts where you write about your friend, Tunde Cole.
Yeah.
In building, you still remind them about the right way being given.
For payment.
Yes. I read the other one about how it's challenging for a nation to have someone like Desmond Tutu.
Yeah.
That person where the nation go look up to, we go come out and speak with a voice where gets credible, voice where everybody go listen to.
Yeah.
Tunde Cole is engineer. Tunde Cole is not a politician, but you explain how much he showcased hard work and somebody can achieve and give back to society.
Yeah.
Why is it that it's difficult for we forget somebody like in politics? That kind of person where get some level of credibility where everybody will look up to. We will be role model as well.
Well, I know I'm very well because I'm a personal friend, but and I know say them we don't broach the idea about appointments and not. I'm not going to talk with time, but they don't broach up. But then what you have a look at is had they accepted those kind of appointments, then for don't take time with politics. They probably for don't appear in a commission because we support this plan. I mean, we'll politicize everything. What Tunde Cole shows is that you can live a life outside politics. And they're not able to take time with any political thing. He's done what by dint of his hard work. And also the spur on as a country, as a government for say, if we can support that company, they rise up so somebody they don't do so well personally. Why can't we support other private sector concerns? But I'll tell you something, I come from the private sector now. Government people, they don't care about private sector. A lot of them. It's not a party thing. Then can they don't care. Then the other money there and they make money and then come on, they do this to them. It is very difficult surviving in the private sector.
How do we build more Tunde Coles in Sierra? How do you think?
We build more Tunde Coles by giving opportunities to Sierra Leoneans, right? By giving opportunities to Sierra Leoneans to participate into business. Unwittingly, the MPRC government towards the tail end and then start to negotiate with MP. The SLPP candidate Solomon Berewa and end the negotiations with them. They gave opportunities to Sierra Leoneans to own that company. Then come NP don't rise above the fray, but all the problem where other companies they don't lock, they still they come, they don't make money. There are still a few Sierra Leoneans so they do well. I think even, and I go left for mention this, alumni associations. You know, look what in St. Joseph's Girls they don't do. Each branch, they take a floor of that building, they don't done that building. Look what here the ones John do for their school. Look what in grammar school they do. But they encourage people encourage alumni associations, maybe give them tax breaks where they want for do certain things. Encourage Sierra Leoneans the way they come into business, especially a niche business. A business like CSE in Senegal. That Senegalese company, government, now sport them on for men and come on. Now they're not trying
to get in all the contracts here.
So why can't we do that? I mean, we're not going to take up. You take somebody, say, we don't want to support this guy.
Is it because people with businessmen and some of them are into politics as well?
Even if you are not into politics, they suspect you. I got a friend who is not into politics. They're a big businessman. But every time when they want help out something, somebody go whisper something.
It's another party.
Not now. The other, another party. If he belong to this tribe or this party, if you happen for help him, he get money in and they support. Everything will wear a political lens on it. And I think that's the basic problem.
Sadly, unfortunately. Engineer, most people when they come at the show, I can ask them, especially possible we get for do with politics about rating President Biani's government with 4 years. If you're to rate over 100, how much will you say he's done so far?
You know, percentage, I don't let kill for you percentage because all depend on circumstances. I can tell you about ministries. A ministry, you can get a good minister, then in subvention way for get money, way for probably the first quarter money, and the second quarter they get up. Then it depends again on whether they get for work with. So I would say in certain areas he's done well. In certain areas he could do better. In other areas he's not done well.
Is that above 50?
Well, me not a teacher, but I don't like for failed person. Yeah, he has done his best in his own little way, but I think he could do better.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Keili, for your time, for joining me at the show today, and we still look for it more Ponder My Thoughts.
Thank you,
and you continue to write.
Yes, we'll continue to write. That day I'm not going to stop.
Yes, we look forward to Ponder My Thoughts every week. I think it's one of the things that we, and by the way, they share with me, and we can get the pleasure for forcing it down before we go to the papers. So, but thank you very much for all you're doing. And like someone said, you might not be Desmond Tutu as the Christian person or the bishop, but to a lot of Sierra Leoneans, you are Desmond Tutu. You are that person that they look up to, read what you say and believe that this is an independent and unbiased and genuine opinion. So thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you very much, Lamar.
Thank you very much, Engineer Keili. Now we'll stop. We go end our seats today. Thanks to all we viewers them for our team. Thanks to the guests. Thanks to the technical and team for the support to the program. So meet back. Mina Madola Mana back. Continue for our AYV.